So, if you're looking to be a little more creative in the classroom and add visual components to different ideas, then you need to check out this Storyboard That website. It's a great tool for creating storyboards, simple comics, really any visual assets like literature scenes for plots and character maps, dialogue in foreign language classes, public service announcements. I mean, really, the list is endless. In fact, here's an example of using Storyboard That for a graphic organizer. You can see it adds a much more visual appeal to an otherwise boring write up of how government works. If you want to check it out, go to storyboardthat.com. In the upper right corner, you can log in. Now, I'll note here that there is a free trial for teachers because they have the ability for classes to be set up, but that is a paid version. So what I'll do is run through the free version just to give you an idea of how digital storyboarding can work. Click the login button, use your Google sign-in, and you'll see any storyboards that you may have already created. Of course, if you're a new user, you won't see anything here, so just click Create a Storyboard. This is the default template, which is a 3-panel comic, if you will, but you can go up to as many as 6 panels for free. Along the top, you'll have your options to switch from scenes to your different characters, and along with different texts and shapes. But underneath each of these, depending on what you select, will give you subcategories that will further refine or filter out some of the choices. Along the bottom, there are other options like laying out your storyboard a little bit differently, adding more cells, moving them from left to right, and copying them. If you create a cell that you like, it's perfect, maybe with a scene and the different colors, then you can just copy that over another one instead of redoing it. So the premise is basically starting out with a scene, and you can see students in your class will probably look through some familiar scenes, school, maybe athletics, home, indoor and outdoor, that kind of thing. But selecting these, you can see will change the entire sort of film strip of all of these options. So this is just a click and drag. No flash is required for Storyboard That. And each item you drop in here will give you this nice pop-out panel that literally lets you change the color of the bed in this particular case, even the sky and the walls and the floor, depending on what you're choosing. Now, this happens to be a scene. Let's switch over to a character to see what you have. There is no shortage of characters. Choosing any of these will let you drop it in. And again, here's the pop out, this time for the character. This does let you filter out a few of these things, like editing the poses. Probably going through these would be the best way to show you what happens. Changing the skin color, and then maybe the color of the shirt. I love how you can actually filter out these characters for time periods. You can see up through here these subcategories or subtopics through just jobs or even time period. So depending on what you're doing in class, you're going to probably find a fit. Changing from characters over to the textables will provide some options for dropping in text into the comic, and then just click and type. And of course, you have some text options and formatting here. You can, again, change these through these subcategories. Now, if you find you want to switch these around, like I mentioned before, there are some options down here at the bottom. Let's move this panel to the right-hand side. Clicking the Move Cells button will pull this up. So first you have to do is click the one you want to move, and then click where you want to move it to. So we'll click this here, and then you can see it just switches those. When you're finished, just hit the Save button at the bottom, give it a name, and please note that if you're not paying, that you can create up to 2 storyboards each week. Now, here are your options when you're finished with your comic. How do you actually share this or do anything with it? Down at the bottom of your saved comic, you have these options of downloading the comic as an entire image, or you can embed it into, let's say you have a Google site and you want to embed that code in there. Dropping this code here into the embed option on your Google site will let you embed the entire comic on that page.